Have you ever noticed how often seniors place their happiness in the hands of their family? It seems almost natural, doesn't it? After all, we spend decades of our lives nurturing children, sacrificing for them, building homes and futures with the hope that one day, in our older years, we'll feel safe, cherished, and fulfilled by their presence. And while family is indeed a blessing, a gift we should always treasure, the reality of life often unfolds differently. Children grow up, they move to other cities, they become busy with work, with their own families, their own responsibilities, sometimes even with the best of intentions. They simply cannot always be there to provide us with the companionship, the care, or the emotional support we long for. And if we depend entirely on them, if our happiness is tied only to their presence or their attention, we may find ourselves facing disappointment, loneliness, and even resentment. But here lies a liberating truth, one that many discover late, but that can transform the way we view aging. Happiness, health, and peace do not have to depend on family alone. In fact, some of the most content, vibrant, and peaceful seniors I have ever met are those who built their joy from within and found strength in sources far beyond their relatives. And today, I want to share with you 5 powerful things, 5 pillars of living, that seniors must rely on instead of family to create lasting joy, vibrant health, and deep inner peace. These are not complicated, they are not expensive, and they are not beyond your reach. They are choices, habits, and ways of being that you can begin cultivating right now. And once you embrace them, you'll discover that age is not the end of joy, but the beginning of freedom. The first of these pillars is community and friendships. You see, while family is bound to us by blood, friendships are bound to us by choice, and that makes them uniquely precious. Because friends are not there out of duty, they are there because they want to be. A true friend chooses you again and again, through laughter and tears, through celebrations and struggles. For many seniors, one of the quietest forms of suffering is loneliness, the kind that settles in when children are busy, when visits become rare, when the house feels too silent. And the antidote to that loneliness is not waiting for the phone to ring, but reaching outward to build and nurture community. That might mean neighbors you greet warmly each day, a small group at a community or senior center, fellow hobbyists who share your love of reading, gardening, or music. It might mean volunteering and meeting others who, like you, want to give back to the world. Friendships are like threads. Each one you weave creates a net that catches you when life feels empty. Imagine this scene, a table full of seniors gathered in the community hall, playing cards, telling jokes, bursting into laughter so loud it echoes down the hall, or 2 old friends walking slowly along a park path, pausing every few steps to admire the flowers or remember old times, or a small circle sitting in someone's living room, sipping tea, sharing not only memories but hopes and dreams still alive. These moments may seem ordinary, but they are powerful medicine. They remind us that we are still connected, still valued, still alive in the eyes of others. Science even confirms this in studies. Show that seniors with strong social ties live longer, recover faster from illness, and experience less depression. But beyond the science, the truth is simple. The human heart longs to belong, and friendship is the soil where belonging grows. So, if you find yourself waiting for family who cannot come, instead take that step. Call a neighbor. Join a local club, attend that gathering, because every friendship you nurture is another door you open to joy. Now, friendships and community nourish the heart, but we also need nourishment for the soul. And that brings us to the second pillar. Hobbies and passions. Retirement, for many people, has long been painted as an end to work, an end to duty, and perhaps, sadly, an end to purpose. But what if I told you retirement is not an end at all, but a beginning? A chance to finally embrace the passions you set aside when life was too busy. Think back. Is there something you always wanted to do but never had the time for? Was it painting, writing, gardening, playing an instrument? Or perhaps even traveling and exploring new cultures? Now is the moment. Because hobbies are not just a way to pass time, they are lifelines to joy. I once met an elderly man who, at 75, picked up a paintbrush for the very first time. At first he was shy, unsure, convinced he was too old to learn. But day after day he painted, and little by little his walls became filled with landscapes of sunsets, rivers and flowers. He told me one day with a smile, "When I paint, I don't feel 75. I feel 20 again, like I have just discovered life." That is the power of passion. It makes time disappear, it makes the soul come alive. Or take the story of an 80-year-old woman who started gardening after her husband passed. At first, it was simply a way to fill the silence in her yard. But as months went by, the flowers bloomed, vegetables thrived, and soon her neighbors would stop by just to admire her garden and chat. She told me, "This garden saved me. It gave me a reason to wake up each morning." Science once again agrees. Hobbies reduce stress, improve mood, and keep the brain active. But beyond the studies, passions remind us that life is still worth engaging with. So whether it's knitting, baking, writing poetry, woodworking, or even learning to play the piano, find something that makes you feel alive. Because a day with passion is a day filled with joy no matter your age. But joy is not only found in the mind and heart, it must also live in the body. And that leads us to the third pillar, physical movement. Too many seniors underestimate the power of movement, believing exercise is only for the young. But in truth, the older we get, the more important movement becomes. Because movement is freedom. The freedom to get up without help, to walk to the market, to climb stairs, to dance if you wish. It does not require gyms or weights or intense workouts. It can be as simple as a morning walk, stretching in your living room, gentle yoga, or Tai Chi in the park with friends. Each step, each stretch, each breath and conscious movement strengthens the body, improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, and clears the mind. I remember seeing a group of seniors in a park one early morning, practicing Tai Chi. Their arms moved slowly, gracefully, in perfect harmony with the rising sun. There was no rush, no competition, only peace. And afterward, as they sat together under the trees, sipping tea, their faces glowed not just from health, but from joy. That's the secret of movement. It does not just strengthen the body, it lightens the soul. Even walking can be an act of freedom. Imagine the crunch of leaves under your shoes, the whisper of wind through trees, the warmth of sun on your face. These small movements become daily celebrations of life. So, my friend, if you want peace, start by moving. If you can walk, walk. If you can stretch, stretch. If you can dance, dance. Your body will thank you with strength, your mind with clarity, and your soul with freedom. And yet, body, heart, and friendships are still not the whole picture. Because there is another treasure that keeps life rich, and that is the fourth pillar, lifelong learning and curiosity. There is a quiet trap that many fall into as they age. The belief that learning is only for the young. That once we leave school or work, our days of discovery are over. But the truth is, curiosity does not age. In fact, the more we feed it, the younger our spirit feels. Reading books, exploring history, learning new skills, experimenting with technology, even mastering a new language. These are not only exercises for the brain, they are vitamins for the soul. Let me tell you about an 82-year-old man I once knew. He had never touched a computer in his life, But one day, he decided to learn how to use one so he could write his memoirs. At first, it was frustrating. The keyboard felt strange, the screen confusing. But day by day, he learned, and soon not only was he writing stories from his childhood,